Hi ladies, happy Monday. I hope you are all having a great day. The weather has finally cleared up. It's become sunny and beautiful out with that little bit of a summer breeze going on. We decided that we are gonna barbecue tonight. We're gonna make some kebab and tikka. I'm gonna make an eggplant salad. You can see I have the eggplant all lined up over here, getting ready to take care of that. But I really wanted to make something for dessert for after, and I really love Bucsom. Bucsom has to be hands down one of my favorite things. Okay, if I eat one Bucsom, I will. You can guarantee that 6 or 7 more are gonna follow. I am addicted. I have an addiction problem to Bucsom. I love it so much. So when I first tried it, I was at Sahara Bakery. The market is at 14 Mile and Ryan near me. And I was like, oh, those look good. And I tried it. And I mean, from that point forward, like I was hooked. So I would go like every other day probably and buy a big bag of Bucsom. Now you can make it filled with dates, or you can just make it plain. I like my Bucsom plain. I don't put the date in it. So, because I love sesame, right? Sesame seeds. So I would go and buy them by the bag full, and literally in the morning sit with coffee, and that's what I would have for breakfast. Which is probably apparent by my waistline, right? Because I do indulge in sweets every now and then. So I liked them so much, I thought, well, I'm gonna learn how to make them, because if you know, I'm running to the store every day, I can just make them at home. So let me teach you how to make them. They're super easy, and they're super delicious. You're gonna need flour. You're gonna need 3½ cups of just regular white all-purpose flour. Of course, 1 cup of white sugar, sesame seeds. We're going to use sesame seeds to top off the cookie. You're going to need some baking powder, some vanilla, a cup of oil. We're going to use some vegetable oil and 3 eggs. And the most important thing, ground Hale, cardamom. I know all you Chaldean girls know what I'm talking about, but there is probably some American girls on here that are married to Chaldeans that don't know. So for all my white girlfriends out there, this is what cardamom, let me just show them what it looks like, guys, so they can tell. It's like a little pod. It's used in chai all the time. You can buy it ground, okay? Ask them for ground Hale, all right? That's what you need for this recipe. It's super important, and it won't taste like Bucsom without it, so don't skip that part, okay? All right. So let's get started. We're gonna take our eggs. We're gonna do 3 eggs. And I'm just using a big white bowl. I'm gonna crack 3 eggs into this bowl. I love these cookies so much. Robbie just ran out for a quick errand and to get Ava. And then he'll be home and we're gonna start grilling. So I was gonna try to just whip these cookies up. They don't take very long before he gets back. Okay, so now I'm gonna need a cup of sugar, a cup of white sugar. And I'm gonna measure that out, but before I dump it in there, I'm just gonna mix those eggs, okay? And I have 2 cookie sheets here that I've lined with parchment paper, because that's really gonna help your cookies not to stick, your Bucsom not to stick. I'm gonna just pour the sugar. And see, with this stuff, you have to measure, because baking is precise. Cooking, you can kind of fudge it a little bit, right? Not so much with baking. So let me dump just a little bit more sugar. This is going to be a disaster. Yep, see it? Hold on. Let me try to get this where I'm not spilling it all over my counter. I want to say I'm sorry to Renee. I was supposed to meet her, if you're watching, Renee, this morning at an appointment we scheduled. And unfortunately, I had to cancel on her this morning at the last minute. So Renee, if you're watching, honey, I again apologize about that. I've been having some trouble with my neck, and I was trying to get into my neurologist. But anyhow, now we're gonna whip up the 3 eggs in here. I'm just gonna whip just till they're mixed, okay? That's it. Just until the yolk is broken. And now I'm gonna dump in that 1 cup of white sugar, and I'm going to give that a nice stir. You guys, I can't even explain to you how much I love this cookie. And it makes the house smell so good when you're cooking them, because that Hale, the cardamom, oh Lord. Okay, here we go. I've seen so many of you're making the knefa, and oh my God, ladies, you are killing it. You're knocking it out of the park. Okay, now we need to measure 1 cup of vegetable oil. We're gonna measure out 1 cup of vegetable oil. Dump it right in with your sugar and your eggs. Set that aside for a second. So you know my cute little sunflower measuring spoons that I always use? I've had them forever, right? I got them at Pier 1. Look at my daughter when she was cooking the other day. Wah, wah, wah. She broke the tablespoon one. I was so sad. I don't have the heart. They need to go right in the garbage, but I don't have the heart to throw them away. Anyways, okay, so I just added 1 cup of oil to that butter. I'm sorry, I just added 1 cup of oil to the sugar and the egg. There's no butter in here. That's me dreaming that I wish there was butter in this recipe. You know me and my butter. Okay, so to recap, because I'm sure I just confused you, I put in 3 eggs, I mixed them, I added a cup of sugar, and now I added a cup of oil. Okay, done. Now we're gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm working against the clock here. I'm trying to see if I can get this done before Robbie gets back. A 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Here we go. Well, so I had to buy these boring white, stupid things. Okay, here's 1/2 teaspoon. We're gonna 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I always pour a little extra, it's okay. And we're gonna do a tablespoon, 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Not baking soda, baking powder. 1 tablespoon, make sure you grab the right thing, okay? 1 tablespoon we're gonna use of the baking powder. Dump it on in there. And I'm just gonna stir it around. Give it a little stir. And we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of the ground Hale, okay? 2 teaspoons of ground Hale. Oh my God, you guys, it smells so amazing. I love it so much. Okay, 1. And this really gives the cookie like a distinct flavor. You have to use this ingredient. Do not skip this ingredient. If you don't have it, then don't make this cookie until you get it, okay? All right, and now we're gonna add 3½ cups of white flour. All right, I'm just gonna mix in that Hale really quick. Oh yeah, hello, smells so good. Oh God, it's really dangerous for me to make these because my big butt will sit and eat like one after the other. Like I'm afraid somebody's gonna steal it from me or something. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and a half. That's a little bit too much. There we go. 3½ of the white flour. In my oven, I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And you're gonna cook them probably about, oh God, what did it say? I think it's about 15 minutes. You'll see they'll start to get kind of brown and toasty on the top. And once they start to get brown and toasty, if you wanna brown them up a little bit quicker, at the end you can put them on broil. I've never done that. But I think today I'm gonna try at the end to just broil them and see what happens. Okay, I just wanna make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Okay, I think, oh, let me rinse my hand really quick because I do have my little gloves over here and I'm gonna mix this dough all together. And it's gonna get nice and like moist. It's gonna be super moist and then you're gonna have, it'll be kind of sticky enough where you can dip it into the sesame seed and it will bake right onto there. I'm wondering though, sometimes with this recipe, the sesame seeds kind of fall off. I'm wondering if I should dip the cookie or brush it with egg and then do it. I don't know, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna follow the recipe like I've always done it. Okay, so now I just put gloves on. I'm just gonna mix the dough together. And it's gonna come together really nicely for you. It'll be really, really moist. And then you're gonna roll them up into like little balls and you're gonna shape them. And these, you guys, oh my God, I promise you, you don't need to go and buy them. You can make them. It takes 5 minutes to make these. 5 minutes for like days of pleasure eating these things. Oh my God. And the dough smells heavenly from that Hale. Okay. I really love this recipe because it's so easy. And when I first tried them, I was like, oh God, these look hard to make. They're not. That's the thing, you know, if you just try it. Like if there's something you want to learn, at least try it. And then, you know, if you don't do it perfect the first time, who cares? Try it again, you know? Just keep doing it. Keep trying. Failure is how we learn. Failing at something is how we learn to get better at something, right? So I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it as a lesson, right? So it's coming, I want to show you kind of how it's coming together. See how that dough is coming together? And it smells so good. Oh yeah, it smells amazing. All right. I'm gonna keep mixing it. And it's pretty much looks like it's all mixed together at this point. Let me make sure though. You want to make sure it's all mixed. You don't have any loose flour in there that hasn't been mixed in. So if you have to keep mixing, just keep mixing it. But to me, okay, it's about 2:45 here. And it took me, what, 10 minutes to throw this together. Okay, now, it looks like it's mixed together really good. Okay, I'm gonna show you. That's it. It's mixed together really, really good. And you can see it's really moist. And now I'm gonna take it and probably like, I'm gonna roll it into this little ball. I wanna show you. So I'm gonna roll it into a little, I can't remember if I've done a video on this or not. Okay, I'm gonna roll it into a little ball. And now see how I'm rolling it between my hands to kind of make it like long and skinny. And then all I do is I flatten it with my fingers like that. And then, because when they bake, they're gonna expand a little bit. And so now I have the sesame seeds in this bowl, and I'm just gonna take my little cookie that I just rolled out. I'm gonna dip it into the sesame, and see, it sticks. The sesame seed sticks. The only complaint I do have regarding this recipe is the fact that sometimes when you store them, you don't eat them all, like, you know, first day or whatever, and you go to store them, the sesame seeds tend to fall off of the cookie. And I don't like that. But you only do one side, okay? And then I'm just gonna continue this, you guys. Here's the two that I've done. They're on my cookie sheet. And then I'll bake them in the oven, and then I'll come back and show you what they look like when they're all cooked. It's that simple. Make a little golf ball size cookie, and then roll it into like a little log with your fingers, and now press it down, make it kind of flat, and now I just dip it into the sesame seed, just like so. And that's it. And I'm gonna try to make them all the same thickness and the same size because you want it to cook evenly in the oven, okay? So I'm gonna go finish these Bucsom, and then I'll come back at the end and I'll show you what they look like when they're all cooked, okay? All right, well, it cooked about 10 minutes in the oven. It was kind of a little bit golden, and then what I did, this is the first time I've ever done it, but I turned it to broil. I put it on high to broil, and it took about 2 minutes, and it became nice and crispy golden on the top. They look amazing, you guys, and I cannot wait. I'm gonna try one right now. I'm gonna try one, Abe. Let's see, okay? Now, let's see. I'm so happy right now. All I need is some coffee or chai, and I'm set. You guys, it's so good. I'm gonna go stuff my face. That's it. That's Bucsom. Thanks for watching. See you soon.